And we have a quorum. We have Commissioner Zimmerman here. So we're good to get
Wonderful.
started.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for making it today. We'll dive into our agenda pretty quickly. Noting today is December 18th, and we currently have a quorum. My name is John Quorum. I'm the quorum chair, and may we quickly do quick introduction. Well, not necessarily introductions, right? We know each other. Just maybe a quick roll call for the commissioners who are currently here. And anyone can start. I hate to start on my screen because I know it's not the same as yours. So please, commissioners or anyone who is subbing for a commissioner who's here.
Yeah, Laureen Kamalu. Thank you.
Wally Bugden. I'm a defense attorney.
Michael Zimmerman.
Mary Corporon, defense attorney.
Kendall Thomas, Twilla County Council.
Paul Dodd with West Jordan City with the Leagues of Cities and Towns.
Pam Vickery.
Would that be all the commissioners? I think we got all the commissioners. And just really quickly, we're always grateful for the IDC staff. If we can really quickly go through who's here with us.
Yeah. Matt Barraza, Executive Director of the IDC.
True. Assistant Director.
Leslie Howard, Data Analyst.
Soraya Gatmeyer, Managing and Training Attorney.
I'm Katrina Adair, Grant Program Manager.
Joshua Buhe, Financial Analyst. Daniel Lancaster, Capital Mitigation and Forensic Social Work.
Thanks, you all. Please forgive me. I won't be. I was going to say I won't be able to put my video on. That's not necessarily the truth. I won't put my video on today. I just am not presentable enough at this time, and so normally I would prefer to have my video on. Has anyone had an? I'm sure many of us have had an opportunity to look at the minutes from last month. For those of us who have, may I ask for a motion to approve those minutes?
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'd second it.
Wonderful. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Anyone not in favor? I should probably ask. All right, wonderful.
Can I give you this to give to Brian?
Oh, okay. And those minutes have been approved.
See you soon.
Those minutes have been approved from last month. All right,
Sorry.
let's
Who seconded the motion? Was it Michael Zimmerman who made the motion and who seconded it?
That was my. Oh, I thought Michael. I thought you seconded.
I did.
Okay, who was the motion by then?
Wally Bugden.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Katrina. Our next agenda item, we're going to turn the time over to Matt for a regional managing defender. An update on that.
Thank you. And so this will be pretty brief. It's just a follow-up on the last month's commission meeting where we had the proposal to create a regional managing defender out of existing grant funds there in southern Utah. We had taken a vote on it and lost our quorum right before the vote. So just to remind people, and then also if anybody is here today that wasn't there last time, what part of our strategic plan is to move towards having full-time managing defenders rather than managing defenders carrying caseloads. Let me share my screen. that visible to everybody?
It is.
And so what we've seen over the years since we've established this network of managing defenders is when they have a caseload and are carrying out those management duties, they tend to give the bulk of their time and attention to those cases, which makes sense. I mean, that's what people are passionate about. They're wanting to help their clients. But unfortunately, we see that they don't tend to spend as much time with those management duties as we'd like to see. And so that was the basis for this being part of our priorities with our strategic plan. We currently have some vacancies in our managing defender positions in Southern Utah, San Pete, Sevier, Wayne, and Grand. And so we thought it was a good opportunity to make some moves towards that goal. And what we propose is combining those vacancies along with Millard, Beaver, and I'm sorry, not Millard, Beaver, Iron, and Kane to create a regional managing defender position that would be moving towards full time, as well as having an administrative assistant to help with those duties. Just by way of update, since we had that conversation at our last commission meeting, I've done outreach to all of the commissions that would be affected by this change. That was one of the concerns, is whether the county commissions would be on board with this change or not. And they were universally supportive of the project, and they recognized the value of having that full-time managing defender. I also expressed my desire to have that be filled by somebody in the region. And I think that was something that they were on board with as well. They wanted to have a local person who would be able to be available and understand some of the nuances of the different challenges that they face and issues that are important to them in that area of our state. So unless anybody has any questions, I think we can take advantage of our quorum that we have today, and I'd ask somebody to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve. This is Pam.
Wonderful. Is there a second?
Wally Bugden, I would second the motion.
Wonderful. And it is in a vote to, sorry, brain fog. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And then I see that Liz has also in the chat has also ayed. Anyone not in favor? Wonderful. The motion has been approved. Thank you all. Matt, thank you so much for the updated information and for going over that with us again.
Yeah, and so our next steps will be we'll put out an RFQ. That will probably be next month, just because of the holidays, and our procurement department is traveling and short-staffed right now. Also, we wanted to get past the January grant reporting cycle so that someone's not being having to deal with all of that all at once. And we do have some temporary management in place right now. Johanna, when she stepped down, her law partner, Michael Labram, agreed to handle those duties in the interim. So we'll be working with him in the interim. And then Zariah has been handling the managing duties for Grand County for a couple months now, and still comes to work every day. So thank you for that. So we'll be maintaining the ship until we can get somebody in more permanently, but we anticipate that would happen late January, early February. So we'll keep you posted.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. move on to our next item. And Matt, I think you are our next item.
I'm a
CCJJ
Matt show
restructure.
today. Yeah.
It is.
So the next item, and I don't know how many of you were there for the CCJJ meeting last week. I think probably just Pam might have been there, but there is a restructure underway with CCJJ, which IDC is a part of the CCJJ agency. And the reason for that, well, what's envisioned is that instead of being under the governor and in the governor's office, there would be a new department created, similar to Department of Corrections or Department of Public Safety, and that would be the Department of Criminal Justice. Basically, over the years, when CCJJ started and Commissioner Zimmerman, you've been part of that over the years. It started off very small, and over the years, the legislature has added different duties and bodies and commissions and boards onto CCJJ, and it's kind of turned into this kind of a bit of a Frankenstein's monster, and with different appendages and and limbs coming out all over the place. And so to add some clarity to the structure and the operations, the governor and with support of the legislature is wanting to create this new department. There would be a commissioner, presumably that will be Tom Ross as the commissioner of that department. And then the agencies or the commissions would still exist within that department, and but it would be more of a vertical organizational chart with IDC. CCJJ would still exist as a commission within that department, Sentencing Commission, and the other boards and commissions would exist there too. There wouldn't be any additional funding associated with this move, and so there would be a lot of familiar faces doing the work, but maybe just in different capacities. Tom would have two deputies to help him with those duties. But as far as the IDC is concerned and how we fit into that new agency, we wouldn't see much change day to day. We fortunately, and there's a lot of good work done by Joanna and others in envisioning the IDC and its structure. We have always been semi-autonomous. I think we've had a lot of independence within that CCJJ structure, and that will continue with this new reorganization. I would still be an executive director, and I would be answering to you, the commission, but then I would still be able to rely on this department for administrative help as far as our budget process goes, HR and the like. So I don't think that we would feel any impact on the part of the IDC going forward, but it would add some clarity to the structure of CCJJ generally. And Liz has been heavily involved in the planning and working through some of the details with this. And so, Liz, if there's anything that you would like to add, please do.
No, I appreciate it so much. Oh, and we might get some feedback. Sorry. I think that's better.
Perfect.
We are very excited for this and know that there are a lot of questions. I'm happy to answer any that you may have. We have been working. One of the things that Commissioner Zimmerman will know, and is always a question, is whether Tom is representing the governor as a cabinet member or whether he's representing the commission. And so that was probably one of the main impetus for clarification's sake and making sure that we've got this right. And as Matt mentioned, the CCJJ and its functions has grown over the many years and includes a lot more. So there is some need for clarification, making sure that we have everything correct. But also we wanted to ensure that our Indigent Defense Commission it maintains its autonomous nature. And the way that we're going to be able to do that is that the Commissioner of Public Safety, Criminal Justice, the Commissioner of Public Safety is what we're modeling it after, but the new Commissioner of Criminal Justice is going to be taken off. Right now, Tom serves on 13 different boards and commissions, and it's very busy for him. He is a very engaged and engaging person, but in order to be able to do all of that, it takes up a great deal of his time. So the executive director of CCJJ will still remain, and we will have somebody in that position, and they will serve on many of those. However, we envision it, and one of the things that's in the language right now is that the Commissioner of Criminal Justice will serve on both the Indigent Defense Commission and the Judicial Performance Evaluation Commission. So those are our two important ones. One thing that we want to ensure as well is that those two are important commissions where they do have an autonomous nature for the reason of that it's important for your mission and goals and responsibilities. And we believe that by elevating the IDC and JPEC while maintaining the importance of CCJJ and what they're doing, it will help with all of that. The way that everything is drafted, it may look like major changes, but nothing within your statute is going to change with that one exception of the Commissioner of Criminal Justice serving in place of that executive director of CCJJ, because they will be the ones that report back to the governor and work on budgets and everything like that. I'm happy to answer any questions or respond to any concerns. I want to extend Tom's regrets. He's out of town, but really wanted to be here, and so that's why he sent me. But we've had a lot of important discussions and look forward to many more.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry, John, please.
I was just going to say thank you. Please, if there are any questions, please let's do ask.
I don't have a question. This is Laureen. I know Liz from when she was at the Utah Association of Counties, and I know she's fantastic at everything she does. It sounds like this is a good thing. It makes sense to me. So anyway, thank you for being here, Liz, to explain to us. And yeah, I knew Tom before because he was the Bountiful City Police Chief, and he's also fantastic. And I've noticed that he gets pulled everywhere, right? So this will be interesting to see how it all moves forward.
No, I appreciate that, Commissioner Cavallo, and you're absolutely right. Tom is great at building these collaborative work environments, and he's done a great job. So he'll do a great job leading us into this, but we do want to make sure that we're doing it correctly. So we appreciate any feedback that you have. Commissioner Zimmerman, I apologize.
No problem. Is Tom at the top? Is whatever's the title of the...
That's the current vision, right? I mean, and technically we can't name him in statute. I'd love to, but eventually he does want to retire. But it would be the Commissioner of Criminal Justice.
And is that Tom? That would be Tom?
Yes, without promising anything.
Might be.
Most likely, with the way that, and kind of one of the reasons, to be honest with all of you commissioners, one of the reasons we're doing it at this current time with no additional funding and not being able to hire anybody new is that we can take advantage of using Tom's excellent skills to make sure that we get this right. And Tom is all about process, and he wants to make sure that he is making the best possible scenario for the organization to continue. So Tom would be the Commissioner of Criminal Justice. We envision probably 2 deputy commissioners that would help oversee the different functions, some of them more on the grant side, the extraditions, those kinds of things that we're doing that are not boots on the ground, but are helping other agencies. And then our boards and commissions would probably go under there. We envision IDC and JPEC being in a different type of category, or at least highlighted differently because of their autonomous nature.
Is JPEG, is there going to be still the review of legislation that went on? Because I know that there was some sense that the legislature thought that there was maybe a little too much.
Yes, we're going to keep doing that under the CCJJ. So the CCJJ statute and what their purpose is in helping with policy and the implementation of criminal justice will still continue forward under the CCJJ structure, but they will have their executive director that will answer to the Commissioner of Criminal Justice, if that makes sense. So Tom will be able to represent the governor, his priorities, the budget, and all of that in probably a much better way and much clearer way, so that he doesn't have to dual role that in doing both the commission and for the governor.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
sorry, Matt.
Thanks, Liz, for jumping in there. She was not planning on being a co-presenter on that today, but everyone who knows Liz knows how incredibly capable and talented she is, and can speak to things like this on the spot. And she's been marinating in it for months now. So I was confident, and I was confident she would be able to pitch in, and not disappointed. So thank you.
Thanks, you too. Thank you for all that context too.
I believe that's it for this agenda item.
Okay.
I'll just, since Chair Quorum is a bit under the weather, I'm just gonna keep on going through these agenda items, if that's acceptable. The next item on the agenda is our site visit report.
And can anyone hear me?
I can.
Oh, wonderful. Sorry about that.
Just as a way of reminder, this is a relatively new program and process that was created to help us with our grant monitoring. Katrina created this a couple years ago, so all of the props to Katrina for getting this up and going. We've seen over the years that just with the schedule with the legislative session and then the grant prep and getting those grants rolled out, these site visits end up being very condensed to fall and early winter. Last year we went to St. George in the middle of the summer, and that was a good learning experience for us, never to do that again. But there we go. So this is different than what our normal day-to-day grant interaction is with our grantee counties and cities. Throughout the year, we have our regular collaborative meetings where we meet with grantees to discuss possible new grants and what we would be recommending for them. And in addition to that, we have quarterly grant reporting of the existing grants where we monitor how those funds are being used. Leslie conducts her semi-annual system needs evaluations in January and July. to gather data about how their compliance with the core principles are lining up, as well as the semi-annual attorney and caseload surveys and analysis. But this program, the site visits, it's very different in that it's all in person. And so what we do is we load up in a van and we go and do a site visit to a given county. The purpose of these visits is to have that in-person interaction with the local leadership there. And we find that when we do this in person, without that hour Zoom schedule, that we are able to get a lot more interactions. People ask questions more frequently, and we can kind of build that rapport and that relationship with the county officials there. We also do a full grant review of the funds and check the receipts and make sure that those are being used as intended. Soraya has an opportunity to speak with the attorneys there in person and hear from them on a very local level what the training needs might be and what they're interested to hear for CLEs or in-person trainings. Josh does a full financial review of the grants and make sure that everything is in order there. And then it's an opportunity to hear from the local leaders and the attorneys who are present what the issues are that they're facing in that particular county. So we really try and get the county commissioners to be present. They're all very busy, but their attendance has been good, especially having the commissioner who has indigent defense in their portfolio. We have the managing defender there, as well as clerk auditors invited, and then the public defenders are invited as well. So this fall, we conducted 5 visits, Grand, Carvin, San Juan, Juab, and Millard. And they were all very enlightening. San Juan, I'll just focus on a little bit because they're actually not a grant recipient, but that was a site visit that we did to try and engage with them and see where we could help with their indigent defense. It was a pretty unusual situation where the attorneys were there. They were there via Zoom. Unfortunately, none of the commissioners were able to make it, but then we did have the county manager who does a lot of the work managing indigent defense for the county was there as well. And we provided, prior to the meeting, a summary of these visits as well. So if you want to take a deeper dive, you can look through those. San Juan was interesting because the attorneys who were under contract there did not appear to be particularly interested in any kind of management or supervision on the part of the IDC. They felt that things were going just great. Thank you very much. And they had a great relationship with the county attorney there. So great that they never had a reason to go to trial over the past year because they were able to come to great resolutions. So obviously some work that could be there. We went over the core principles, and I don't think that there were any principle that was really complied with, but they were all new to the concept generally. But it was good to have that visit and to interact at least with some of the management there. And we did talk about non-grant related benefits or collaboration that we could provide. Our language line services, mileage reimbursement, the CLE and trainings available to them. And I believe that line attorneys do participate in the online CLEs. So trying to plant some seeds there. We'll see how things grow, but we're trying to stay engaged and build our ability to help with indigent defense throughout the state.
And Matt,
In Carbon County, that was a productive meeting there. They have a new commissioner who was recently elected and had a lot of questions about, his big question was, why are there so many contract attorneys doing the work in Carbon County? And so it was an opportunity for us to talk about specialization and why we try to have different attorneys handling the different areas of practice there.
Thank you, Zariah.
To turn on my speaker. Hopefully that's no feedback. Is that better? Okay.
No feedback. We just had a question.
Oh, sure.
yeah, Matt, can you hear me? This is Lorene.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. I was, after you brought us up to speed on San Juan, I was just remembering that you were very proactive to respond to the appointed county manager down there, where he had questions kind of, and was interested to learn a little more about what the Utah Office of Indigent Defense does. So I think you said he was in the meeting, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. San Juan is, I mean, our commissioner from Tooele, he also knows all the different counties like I do, and they are unique in the state of Utah quite a bit, you know, a lot of reasons. They're big area and different challenges. But I was glad that he had at least had interest. I'm really glad that you did go. And hopefully, like you say, there's kind of a raising awareness. But sounds like there's some work to be done there. Anyway.
Matt, can I add something really quickly?
Sure, of course.
With these site visits, we've had the opportunity to really explain what indigent defense is. A lot of these commissioners haven't had experience in the criminal system. And so they just hear like, this is a cost that we have to bear. You know, this is an unfair cost to our constituents because there's criminals that are coming and traveling through our state and picking up charges, things like that. Were actually real comments that we received during some of these site visits. But when we've been able to sit down face to face and go over what the attorneys actually do, the different types of defense work, what the success stories in specialty courts, things like that, we've really been able to bring the commissioners more on board, and they get really excited about the efforts that their attorneys are doing and that IDC are doing. So I think these site visits have been incredibly beneficial for an informative stance as well.
Yes, I think it's huge what you are doing. And I think there were some factors, but I, years ago, was with Adam and Joanna to do a site visit in Duchesne County. And I could tell that it made a huge difference. I mean, it's kind of a duh. I'm sure everyone here just is kind of a duh, but because county commissioners, there's not one single county or commissioner or council member in the state of Utah working in a county, elected in a county, that is an attorney, not one. And so, yeah, and most are, and of course, the Utah Office of Indigent Defense has not been around forever either. So we are either at the mercy as commissioners, elected officials, to be informed by somebody else in the county, or it makes a huge difference for now this Utah office to actually go and form those relationships. The tricky thing, of course, is that elected officials come and go, so it's a never-ending educational need, right, of doing this for not only county commissioners but also for state legislators. Anyway, I know it makes a huge difference, and I'm so glad that you do it.
Well, and to your point with the change, the constant change in commissioners, with that commissioner in Carbon County, by the time that we were done with our meeting, he was, he fully understood the importance of specialization and was no longer worried about, why there were 5 public defenders versus 2 prosecutors in Carbon County, and it also, we were able to bring together the managing defender and his admin assistant, who were able to explain some of the processes about case assignment and client complaints and how he manages the attorneys that are in the system there. And so it was a good opportunity for that interaction, to facilitate that interaction that normally wouldn't take place because there might just be the more formal budget meetings and the like, where those opportunities wouldn't exist.
Yeah, totally. I think I've said it before, but we have a bunch of new IDC commissioners, but even in Davis County, that is, you know, it does well in a lot of areas. My two colleagues, it's not because they're bad, I'm not throwing them under the bus, but like they have zero idea about what this work is at the state. So they know our managing defender, and I believe they respect him very much. But as far as how it all works and the importance of it, yeah, to keep funding it seems to always be a little bit of a challenge. Even here, even here. So.
Well, and then finally, just to highlight our trips to Juab and Millard, we were excited to have Commissioner Margaret Lindsay and Mike Esplin join us as the managers of those counties. Margaret manages the juvenile indigent defenders there, and Mike manages the adult court defenders, as well as the administrative assistant Kelsey was there too. And that was great to have them and their support and be able to talk about indigent defense and what they're doing out of Utah County Public Defenders to help with some of their neighbors.
Could I ask how it went in Juab County, which is another outlier?
Yeah, Juab, that was actually a little less well attended. For whatever reason, the county commissioner who manages indigent defense there or oversees it, he was not able to make it at the last minute. We did have a official there from Nephi City, who's a grant recipient. And so there were a lot of us kind of giving her our undivided attention or a lot of attention and talking about indigent defense. They are one of the oldest or the earliest grant recipients, and I think that they have been very happy with the management and the oversight that Utah County Public Defender Office provides. And so I think that they are just very comfortable with how things have been operating over the years. But maybe Margaret might have some input from her experience working with Juab County.
Mike Esplin is the one who really, besides handling all of the adult managed defender duties, he's the one that works with the city officials and with the county commission. From the juvenile side of things and my knowledge of the relations with the county and city officials, I have not heard that there's been any challenges. So, but Mike is the one that handles that part of it. I kind of am the boots on the ground when it comes to the juvenile court, since nobody else wanted to mess with it.
Thank you.
They're lucky to have you, Margaret.
Thanks, Lorraine.
So just some takeaway from the visits that we did this fall. It was pretty clear that when we get involved with our grant program and that we have that collaboration with the counties, we can make some pretty great improvements as far as the structural provision of indigent defense. When you look at places like Carbon versus San Juan. And so it does show that we have, for as much as we've done over the years, there are still some spots where we can continue to make improvements and inroads and outreach. And so, despite not having a San Juan as part of our system as a result immediately, there was that engagement there, and I think that it was generally a positive interaction there. And I want to we will continue to make outreach to them and to other counties that are not currently part of our grant network.
Add something, Matt?
Yes.
So since the San Juan visit, we have been invited to the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council meetings down there, and Soraya is planning to attend those meetings as much as she can. So we will have a continued interaction and presence down there with them, which
That's
maybe
huge. Yeah,
it would-
that's huge. That's great to know.
Yeah, I've been attending those and answering their questions about treatment. And we provided some documents that we thought would be helpful. So some of our plea forms, information about residential treatment programs, and like we said, the interpretation services. But I do want to point out that even counties that are not participating in IDC, like Duchesne or San Juan, their attorneys are attending our CLEs. So we are at least educating the boots on the ground, and hopefully they're taking what they're learning and putting into practice. But
Wonderful. Anything else, Matt? And
No,
nothing else. Any other questions? Well, I wanted to highlight again. I think, forgive me, I can't remember who alerted us to the site visit reports that we all have access to now. I think we received that email before the meeting, so there are additional details there. I was just quickly glancing through a few of those. About the reports, is there anything on the reports? Is there a section of the report that you would draw our attention to?
No, I mean, they're all very succinct and to the point. You know, they're 1 or 2 pages long each. So
yes,
I think they're a nice tight summary of those visits.
Wonderful. Thanks for providing those.
Sure.
2 things. I just want to quickly recognize that Commissioner or Judge Dressel has joined us. And hello. And then really quickly, Zoraya, I think this is, we probably all think this, if not consciously, unconsciously. I am completely amazed by how much you get done and how involved you are in everything. So I'm sure you get thanked enough, but thank you for all the resource that you are to this program. So
appreciate that. Thank you, John.
Let us move on to our next agenda item.
I believe that's the governor's budget.
Yes.
So the governor's budget came out earlier this month, and as we hear every year, but this year in particular, the feedback that we got throughout the budget planning process was that it was going to be a very difficult year economically. We were politely asked not to ask for any new funding unless it was really, really, really important. And of course, you know, everything's really, really, really important for public defense. The need is so great out there. But what was included in the governor's budget this year was $700 ongoing for our grant funding. So that's this $700,000 that we've been keeping afloat in grants over the past 3 years. It was originally new funding about 3 years ago in one-time funding, and we've managed to renew it every year as one-time funding. But this year, what's different is that it is recommended as ongoing funding by the governor's office. So hopefully if we can get that through, we won't have to be fighting for those funds year to year, and we can focus on new improvements that we can make. And then with our indigent appellate division, IAD, they are very much overloaded with cases. The cases are coming in faster than they can handle them. And so they're under some tremendous strain. In our budget request, I asked for 6 additional appellate attorneys to help with that. There are currently 4 attorneys handling adult criminal appeals and then 1 attorney handling post-conviction cases. Those are the 2 areas that are under the most stress. The budget approved half of that, so 3 additional attorneys, which in this budget climate, I think was pretty significant win in and of itself. So I'm happy that we have that to build upon and to point to when we work with the legislature to get that funding approved.
Can we throw in an appeals attorney for Utah County too, please?
I'll see if I can.
You've gone from 3 to 1 point me.
Nobody will notice. We'll just slide that in there. So that's what we're heading into the session looking for with our budget, and I'm sure we'll be rallying people as needed throughout the process, but we'll go on to our criminal justice appropriations subcommittee from there.
Wonderful. Any questions about that?
In other budget-related news, I want to recognize Commissioner Thomas out of Tooele County. Tooele County increased with their last budget recently, spending for indigent defense by, I think, 25% or something like that. It was a significant increase.
Matt, I'm going to give you and our folks, I can't think of her name right now, here in the county, thanks for your support and preparing for that budget presentation beforehand, because we are now not dead last, we're tied with last with Washington County, but we're happy and we understand because of the very thing of being involved, not being an attorney, but because my involvement with this group helps me understand. So those site visits you talked about, very important. So yeah, Tooele County, we're going to move the needle and hopefully next year too.
Yeah, and big thanks to Leslie for providing the data and teeing that up for Corey Caldwell, the managing defender there, to use, and it was very clear and right to the point as far as where Tooele fit in the county spending climate, and I think it definitely got everybody's attention.
Very good. Thank you.
That's awesome, Kendall. And you guys have a good team and a great county manager. Is that his position? Andy's? There's different titles, but whatever he is, I think he gets it. And I'm glad.
And our manager is really good and supportive.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, and I, no doubt it helps that you are serving here. And thank you again for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry.
Wonderful. Thanks for that update. Matt, anything else on that?
I think that concludes
all right
our agenda.
Oh, that does. Hey, we are now at public comments. Any members of the public here with us? And as far as I can tell, there are no members of the public with us right now. All right, we'll close. I guess we'll close that that portion of our agenda to public comments. Any other business that we need to attend to? Right. I think I'm sure it's somewhere on our agenda, but just to confirm, our next meeting we'll have a meeting in January, right?
Yes, January 15th would be our next scheduled meeting. So we'll send out some invites from there. We typically skip February because so many of us are up to our eyeballs in session work, but we should still be on track for January.
Wonderful. Perfect. Well, we'll close our meeting now. Just really quick, I'm not doing this in my office, and so I'm maybe because I'm in a very comfortable position, I'm able to focus a lot more. But I just feel overwhelmingly grateful for all that we were able to talk about today. It's a lot. It just feels like a lot of wonderful things are going on and some great accomplishments. So maybe it's all in my head, or maybe it's every meeting has been like that and I just haven't noticed. So, a wonderful close to the year, I guess. Hey, we'll close our commission meeting now. Is there a motion to wording is killing me. A motion to close our meeting.
So moved.
All right, can we get a second?
Second.
Wonderful. All approval? Aye.
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 Wonderful. We've got an aye from Liz also. Thank you all so much. We'll see you in January. Happy holidays. Stay safe and healthy.
Yes, all of you too.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Merry Christmas.
Feel better, John.
Merry Christmas. See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And Soraya, I see that you're still here. I'll never be able to. I'm not the most eloquent person, but I am so grateful for. It seems like every meeting we have, you are doing a zillion things that's making our state a better place. I don't know how you do it all and how you find the time, and so thank you so much.
I really appreciate you saying that. I feel like I'm just kind of being a jack of all trades right now, but Matt really does put it all together in the end. So thank you, John.
I speak from having been a public defender, knowing how much what you're providing. I know there was some form of it before, but what you're